a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Steve Ramona. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness. Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast.
There's one thing that is also critical, has to do with the issue of forgiveness, and more importantly, self-forgiveness. Because self-forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-compassion. And I've done like 450 podcast interviews. About 3 months ago, somebody asked me something it's never asked before. They're like, from your 7 paths to lasting happiness from your book, what is the one path that's the least, not the most effective, or the least used, or the least practiced, I should say? And I'm like, self-forgiveness by far. And most people don't know how to do that.
I want to invite you into the Business Network, my free school community for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to grow their network and scale their business. Inside, you'll get step-by-step lessons, monthly workshops, feedback, scripts, resources, bonuses, and a community of like-minded people who believe in helping each other win. Join us today at school.com/thebusinessnetwork or click the link in the description and click Join Group. I'll see you inside.
1. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. Kindness, happiness, giving. Does that make you smile? If it doesn't, we'll need to talk. I'm half kidding. But that's what we're going to talk about today. I had known my guests for a while. We had some great conversations before the show. But this is going to uplift you in so many ways and be able to turn something that's tragic, trauma, and uplift it, because there's always a way to flip that around. Before we start, here's our gratitude for today. Success is just around the corner. You are amazing. Do me a favor, audience. Look in the mirror and say that 3 times every morning this week. Just get up and say that. You're amazing. You're going to be successful, because that's what's happened to my guest, because he's amazing. He's been extremely successful. He travels around the world speaking, and we got him right before vacation, so we got him prime. Let's bring him on. Dr. Elia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my friend. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. And thanks for all the good work you're doing to make this world a better place. And truly, your influence is global also. So it's wonderful that you connect people from all over the world. And and there's so many people doing good things in this world. We just need to showcase them more. I think that's
amen to that. Jump on our train, audience. Me and Dr. Elia's train of happiness and kindness. Well, let's start out with impact. What's the greatest impact you think you've made to this point today?
That's a really, really tough question to answer. To me, on the personal level, the greatest impact is within the walls of the 4 walls of my home. With my sweetheart of 35 years, my wife and kids and grandkids, that's the legacy. So on a personal level. On a professional level, I would say what transpired just a couple of months ago. So I started a 10 keynote speaking tour in March and ended in May in 4 different countries. And the culmination being the very last one and the biggest one, which was the World Happiness Summit in Cascais, Portugal, which is put together by Karen Guggenheim, an amazing lady. And there were over 80 countries represented in the audience, truly a global audience, World Happiness Summit. It's one of the top, according to Forbes, it's one of the top 5 leadership conferences on the planet. And certainly in the positive psychology sphere or in the happiness sphere and kind of so on, these are the Oscars. There's nothing above that. And so to have that kind of audience and to give the keynote, it was a 2-day conference, and have it spread far and wide throughout the world, and then actually sit back and enjoy the other incredible speakers there. To me, I had to pinch myself like, I don't know if I belong on stage with these people. Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Oxford, the creme de la creme. And so I felt very honored that Karen would ask me to be the keynote, and it was great to connect with other folks. I just think it's about impact. To me, I was fortunate enough as a young man to really know in my heart what is my purpose in this life. Why am I here? And I learned that in my 20s. And the purpose really was to leave this world better than I found it. But not because it sounds good or not because, but actually, that's 40 years ago. So I stand by 40 years. I can say if I passed away today, not that I'm ready to go, that promise to myself that I gave has been fulfilled. Like this world is a better place, whether it's through books, coaching, as a psychologist with my private practice with my patients, or making movies. It's all about improving because this life is hard and there are so many people suffering. So, and I feel like we need to counterbalance that. And whatever we can do to move the needle in a positive direction, then I'm all in. And you're part of that, big time. And you do this every single day, Steve. So I'm very grateful for you. But there are other people
Thank you.
that we're not the only ones that are, there's so many good people doing good work. And there's a momentum. I can feel it. This world, even though there's darkness too, there's also a lot of light at the same time. So it's just bigger than it used to be, I think.
Yeah. You probably hear this. I know I hear it. Why are you so happy? How come you're so happy? Somebody that's not happy or struggling with happiness, what would you tell them?
I think happiness is a choice, but it's also a skill set. Because if you
Oh,
just say, well, just a choice, choose happiness, well, it's not that easy. Happiness is a choice, but it's a skill set. And if you do certain things on a consistent basis, and the key is consistency, I guarantee you will find happiness and inner peace and purpose and so on. But you got to do the work. I mean, there are no shortcuts. And I think some people may be predisposed to seeing things on the more positive light. Some other people are more predisposed to being more on the depressive side and so on. But regardless of our circumstances, if we choose to do certain things on a daily basis, starting with self-care, to me, my self-care now, because I didn't used to be that way until I got burned out and it almost killed me 20 years ago, and I had to make some serious changes in my life. My self-care is a non-negotiable every day, every single day, 365 days a year. It's non-negotiable. So and some people say, well, Dr. Ely, isn't self-care selfish? I'm like, first of all, selfish has a negative connotation, but if it is, do it more, double down. Yes, if
I love
it's
it.
yeah, but in a good way, because nobody's going to take care of me but me. My wife loves me, my kids love me, but I have to do the work. I have to make that a priority. And if I don't, I'm going to pay the price. And because I have paid the price in the past, I've learned.
Yeah, an
I was kind of stubborn when I was
expertise.
younger. I was like, I don't need that. I could take shortcuts. I can tell that to everybody else, all my patients, this is what you got to do. But I wasn't walking the talk, Stephen. And when you don't do that, you're out of alignment. And if you're out of alignment for a prolonged period of time, then your body starts breaking down. And when our body breaks down, it's basically our body communicating to us, listen to me. You're not paying attention. And so my body broke down. I wasn't paying attention. And I was starting getting a lot of pain. This was towards the end of my private practice after 18 years. And I was working like a crazy man, 45 patient hours a week, which is insane. The average is 20 to 25, and that's considered full time. And if you do that for 10 years, you're good. Well, I did it for 18 years, and I was 45 a week, and very arrogant and very prideful. I'm like, I can handle it. And because I handled it for 16 years, I got even more that way until your body finally says enough. And when your body says enough and it starts to hurt, physical pain like emotional or mental or spiritual pain eventually brings you to your knees. And I was starting to suffer and eventually brought me to my knees. And I'm a spiritual person, so I prayed to God. I'm like, God, why is this happening to me? I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to help people, my wife, kid. And you know what the answer was? And it was instant. You're not listening to me. I'm trying to take you in a different direction. You're not listening to me. End quote. Nothing longer than that. That was it. Well, you know what I did with that great advice? I ignored it because I was so in that voice. I don't care what you call that voice. If it's the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, that still small voice, your intuition, or your higher self, whatever you call that inner voice, listen to it. And then more importantly, act on it. every time I've listened to it and acted on it, it has always worked out 100%. It's one of the few absolutes in life. But I'm giving you an example when I didn't listen to it because I got the message and I ignored it because I was scared. So when you ignore that voice, what happens to your life? It doesn't get better. So my life got worse. Fast forward 6 months now, I'm in and out of hospitals, all kinds of scans, all kinds of testing. They can't figure out what's wrong with me. But my pain was not psychosomatic, it was real. There was something wrong with my body, but they couldn't figure it out. So now I'm really desperate because I'm in pain almost every day now. And I'm back on my knees. Now I'm really desperate. I'm like, okay, Heavenly Father, why is this happening to me? And the voice says again, Elia, I told you once before, I'm trying to take you in a different direction. You're not listening to me. And then it said, I want you to spread the light to a lot more people, meaning than one-on-one therapy that I was doing. So it's an interesting statement. I'm like, but my first thought is like, I still had young kids at home. How am I going to make money doing that? Because I had a thriving private practice. So in my hesitation, my mind is like, okay, I get the answer. Spread the light to a lot more people. How do I do that? And how do you make money doing that? The voice had one final sentence, which was the change of my whole life. And if you don't, I'm going to call you home by the time you're 50. I was 42 at the time. My mom died when she was 51 with cancer. So the age 50 was not something like, well, that's absurd. I'm not going to die when I'm 50. It's like, what? And that was what I needed to change my career, to change my path, to let go of my practice, which was very hard. And I realized I was holding on to it based on fear, not faith, because I was making good money and fear and ego simultaneously. I'm the doctor. Everybody comes to me. I got the status, blah, blah, all that stuff. So I was attached to it. So letting go of all that, I went to school, I got a PhD. I didn't want to let go of all that, but I was forced to do it. And it took a while to close my practice. It wasn't an easy thing to do. But unfortunately, my body, even though I started like not taking new referrals and all that stuff, I started going down. I got so sick that 2 months before my actual physical retirement, I hit the wall.
Ooh.
So I won't bore you with the details, but emergency room, 2 surgeries with complications, 6 days in the hospital. I did a lot of thinking. And finally, it was so painful what I had gone through. When my surgeon came out the second time and said I had more complications, we were like, you're like a day away. It's a good thing you came in. I'm like, why did this happen to me? Because I never want to go through this ever again, ever. And he said, easy, either you excessive drinking or excessive stress. Well, I didn't even drink anything. And the stress was like, I was like, because you can't really talk thousands and thousands of hours in people's secrets and people's stories and people's trauma and all that stuff. I was storing it inside me and it was starting to eat me alive, like physically. So when I was wheeled out in a wheelchair in the hospital, and I looked back after 6 nights there, and I'm like, Elia, this will never happen to you again. I made a promise to myself, and was the beginning of the self-care, because I wasn't doing it prior to that. I was talking about it. I was a hypocrite. And I'm like, so Steve, I'm 20 years chronologically older now than I was back then, and I'm better physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually because I made that a priority. Non-negotiable. And that
Taking
changed
action.
my life.
Thank you for sharing that story and being transparent, because taking action is the problem with a lot of people. Yeah, that do. Yeah, that's great, but you took the action. You wouldn't be sitting here today if you didn't, obviously, from everything that you went through. You said something very interesting, and I'm going to borrow that happiness is a skill, which means a skill can be learned.
Exactly.
So guess what? You out there that are not happy, you can learn to be happy. What are some of the ways to build that skill?
Yeah. So first of all, the self-care part, and I have an assessment that I can actually share with you that you can share with your audience.
Oh,
It's been downloaded
yeah.
over 100,000 times all over the world, and it takes 2 minutes, and you'll go, exactly your pain points. You also get to see where your strengths are. But aside from self-care, that's number one. I think happy people have gratitude in their hearts all the time. And I know that we hear the saying, have an attitude of gratitude. It's a catchy, phrase because it rhymes and so on. But it's easy to be grateful when things are going well. That's the easiest thing in the world. I believe that we're all graduates from the University of Adversity. And the older you get, the higher the degree because you've been on this earth long. So the longer you get, the more the adversity you face. So my question is this: can you be grateful in the midst of adversity? Yes or no? And this is where Nelson Mandela, who's one of my heroes, comes in, who said, in life, either you win or you learn. There's no losing as long as you're learning something. So you and I and every member of your audience, have some success in this life. We've done some things right. But isn't it true that the greatest lessons we have ever learned have never come from our successes? They have come from what at the time appeared to be a mistake, so-called mistake, a human frailty, a weakness, a setback, right? When you look back, you can say, I know exactly why that happened to me because I wouldn't be the person I am today had I not gone through that. Now, was it easy going through it? Obviously not. But if you've learned the lesson, it makes a huge difference. And one more thing about how people react to challenges in life, it's very often that they fall back into a victim mode. Poor me. Why is this happening to me? You know, as if it's not happening to 8 billion other people, but why is this happening to me? What's beautiful about happy people, they switch that question slightly from why is this happening to me to why is this happening for me? Why did this happen for my good? God, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parents, whatever, your higher self. Why is this happening? The universe, whatever your belief system is. Because when you ask the question, why is this happening for me? Guess what? You're going to get the answer. And that answer sets you free because now it's no longer like a burden. It's like, I'm actually great. I can't say that I'm grateful going through pain, but I am in some ways because it's made me who I am. I wouldn't want to go through it again, but I'm so grateful for that lesson because it changed the trajectory of my life. So gratitude becomes part and parcel with people who are happy. I don't think, and the other part about, and this is neuroscience now, it's not Elia speaking, you cannot be in a grateful state and be depressed physiologically at the same time. Because when we're in a grateful state, the great drug dealer in the world, the greatest drug dealer, was the human brain, the best friend. He's my favorite guy. The brain starts releasing endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, like all these, which elevate your mood, reduce your cortisol levels, so it reduces your stress levels, and you're happier. That's why gratitude is right next to self-care to me. It's so important.
It reminds me of the video when you watch a baby laugh across the world. I think anybody smiles, or I laugh hard when I hear it. It's just that infectious gratitude, right? That's kind of that dopamine hit that you're getting. Why is this happening for me? Is such a mindset change. It's one word change.
One word, but why is this happening to
brilliant.
me? It's like, oh, this is happening to me, poor me.
Yes.
Like, down. Yeah.
And that's another part of this. Your background, your therapist. How can people work on their mindset daily to be kind/happy?
There's one thing that is also critical, has to do with the issue of forgiveness and more importantly, self-forgiveness. Because self-forgiveness is the ultimate act of self-compassion. And I've done like 450 podcast interviews. About 3 months ago, somebody asked me something it's never asked before. They're like, from your 7 paths to lasting happiness from your book, what is the one path that's the least, not the most effective, or the least used, or the least practiced, I should say? And I'm like, self-forgiveness by far. And most people don't know how to do that. And it's a burden. I've had people because I have a process I take people through, a self-forgiveness process, which is a very spiritual and beautiful process. And it's not that hard, actually. When we're done with this process and we hug it out, sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes 2 or 3 hours, depends on how long the list is, right? Every single man and woman, not 90%, but 100% have said to me, whispered in my ear, I wish I had done this sooner. Every single person has said that. And then they might add, I feel like 100 pounds has been lifted on me, or 1,000 pounds, but that's secondary. The main thing is, don't procrastinate that. The self-forgiveness practice is easy. You write down in bullet points every single thing you haven't forgiven yourself for. It could be 5 things or 50 things. And then next to it, you put a number from 1 to 10. 1 is, you and I had dinner last night. I was wearing a white shirt. I spilled some red wine. I was embarrassed. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. That's a 1. It's a very minor thing. A 10 is, I've done something really terrible, like I killed somebody. A lot of people say, well, that's a 10. I'm like, have you actually murdered a human being? That's a 10. Have you abused a woman? Have you molested a child? Those are 10s. What you think is a 10 is more like a 7, just to set things straight, right? And then we go through the list. We start with the low-hanging fruit, the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. They gain some practice, some momentum, and then we move on to the 5, 6s, and 7s until we get to the last one. And then we burn that piece of paper. Symbolically goes up to the heavens, and then we hug it out, and then you have a clean slate. In that backpack, that invisible backpack that every single person puts on every single morning before they brush their teeth or look at their phone, which is full of resentments, hurts, lack of forgiveness, and so on, is no longer there. And now you're free. Because forgiveness equals freedom. That's it. And self-forgiveness, again, is the ultimate act of self-compassion. It's a gift to yourself. Find a therapist, a counselor, a coach, a trusted advisor, and do this exercise. That's the way that I described it. And it's magical what happens to you.
Well, I think you just answered the world's problems, because I think self-forgiveness is the problem, because there's so much fear. People won't self-forgive themselves. Oh, I did this. And now fear runs them for the rest of the journey of their life. And now we got fights and things and everything that's going on in the world. Audience, replay this, record this. Replay the recording and listen to that again. What a cool exercise. And do it with accountability, with your employees, with your managing partners, with your family, friends, right? Do it, make it accountable with other people if you don't reach out to Dr. Elia.
And
We're
my
coming
wife
close
said,
to
how come you don't have anything on your forgiveness list? I'm like, well, first of all, I've done the work, number one. But number two, I don't take myself so seriously. I'm part of it.
That's what I love about you. It's beautiful.
That's how you're happy.
Well,
you're lighthearted.
yeah. Let's end with this question about your production company. You're just launched an incredible happiness, kindness movie. These are transformational stories. What's the mission with the production company?
So we have a production company called the Kindness Factor Productions, and we are all about making films and documentaries that are uplifting, inspiring, that move people into action. It's not just an entertainment or tug at your heart or have a little, a couple of tears as you're watching this, but as a result of seeing these movies, go out there and make this world better. So at this stage in my life, that's all I want to keep making movies. And for such a time as this, which is how one small act of kindness created a global kindness movement, we've gotten so far like 16, 17 film festivals that have awarded us, and it continues to spread. And we're working on other projects. So if you have an inspiring story, something that that would be a game changer for people. People need inspiration. They need to see good people doing good things. And I know you're out there, lots of you. So reach out to Steve, reach out to myself. I mean, you and I would love to collaborate in some of the things like that. Yeah. But I'm very passionate to me, it's about legacy right now, because movies can impact millions.
Yeah.
Therapy can do it one-on-one. Books and keynotes and podcasts can reach thousands and thousands. Movies, however, can be a whole different level. So and it's needed. Our society needs it, because there's so much darkness out there and so much negativity. And so we need those things.
Yeah, it goes above the noise of the news and social media. We need to bring these above all that so people see that. And when they see negative stuff, they go, oh, there's such a time on it. Oh, I remember that. And it wipes away that negativity that we're hearing. Right. Where can they find the movie and watch it? Where's it accessible?
We've done private screenings, and it's in film festivals yet. I think once we go through the film festivals, then it'll be more widely accepted. And we can talk to Kevin Smith about it. I mean, it's his movie, so yeah, we can, yeah. But
and just look for it. Yeah. And I'm sure you'll have a list that you're building, and audience, reach out to Dr. Elia, and he'll get you on that list so you can see that movie. I'm hoping I see it in the theater, because I'll buy the first ticket to see that, because I've seen some clips and it's unbelievable what you guys have done.
I mean, it was shown at Podfest in Florida a couple of months ago. In Florida, it's
amazing.
Which is amazing, because Podfest doesn't really show documentaries, so that was one place.
No,
yeah,
they don't. Well, I'm going to get back to you, because you've been such a great guest today. So, audience, if you've waited this long and watched the podcast or listened to this point, you're going to get rewarded now. I'm going to bring kindness back to you. Dr. Elia has 2 books, and we'll put them in the show notes. But if you mention and reach out to Dr. Elia about happiness or whatever he's doing,
or the forgiveness part to me is the thing. I'm really passionate about it. I'm telling you, it's a gift to yourself. Believe me, when we're
perfectly
done,
said.
Or if you don't meet the other people, again, there's wonderful people out there that can help you. The process is mine, but I'm sharing it publicly because nothing is really mine. It comes from the above, I think. So,
Well, okay, then we'll make it this way. If you reach out to Dr. Elia and mention the forgiveness, self-forgiveness, what would you call it, protocol that he has. I'll just use that word.
It's a process. Yeah.
Process. Thank you. The first 5 people that do that, I'm going to send you his book for free. So mention to him, hey, self-awareness process. Keep forgetting that. And he'll get your contact info and send it to me, and I'll send you his book for free. Because now you get to be self-aware, but you also get to be educated. And it's beautiful.
Can I tell you something about the self-aware? I want one last thing, because
Sure.
it's everybody talks about AI. You know what's equally as important is AAI,
What's that?
awareness plus action equals impact, right? AAI, awareness, action equals impact. Because
I love that.
knowledge without application is just education. We just know more. The biggest thing, and I want to leave your audience with this, in life, it doesn't matter what you know. What matters is what do you do with what you know. We all know, don't we all know that cigarettes are bad for you? But we all know. It's the action. And therefore, once you take that action, watch what the impact is for you, for your community, for your family, for your company, for your employees, and so on. AAI, not AI.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I always hope you wrote that down. Again, listen to the recording again. Many reasons to share this. Let's end real quick with a fun question to get to know you. So I come out to Colorado, Boulder, where you're at, and you're going to pick your favorite restaurant. What I want you to do 2 things. Invite 3 people, whether dead or alive, who've made a major impact in your life. And for me, I'm a foodie, love food. I want you to order food for the table, your favorite foods.
Wow. Dead or alive? I mean, I don't know. To me, Jesus Christ would be one of them. I mean, obviously. I sure would like to have like Nelson Mandela and just pick his brain, like it would be, and the other person who's not here anymore, but was the most impactful person in my life is my mom, who died when I was young, but she personified unconditional love. My mom was not loved by men and women. She was beloved because she was all about love. And
Yeah.
so that's what she taught me, to just love people no matter what.
What's her name? What was your mom's name?
My mom's name, it was Petrula,
Petrula.
which is the feminine of Peter in Greek. It's a Greek name, but it's a diminutive. It's like a little Peter, but feminine anyway, Petrula. Or it's also like, remember, Peter was the rock. So in Greek, Petrula is like a small stone or a little rock, like
Well, Petrola,
very
you've
unique
done
name.
an incredible job with your son. He's making impact everywhere. What were you eating at the table? What kind of food?
Well, I'm partial to Greek, but I'm just going to go with Italian because I love
Okay.
Italian food. So Greek or Italian, you can pick whatever. They're Mediterranean diet,
Beautiful.
whatever. It's the best.
Sounds good. I love it. Dr. Elia, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being an incredible guest and inspiring, impacting my audience. Audience, share this out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or any other. But if you know somebody that's struggling with happiness, 15 minutes of Dr. Elia could change your mind, including the process of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I
Both
don't
of
think
those.
self-awareness is needed in order to do that. You're right.
Yeah, you need both.
Yeah.
See, I love being corrected because I learn myself. You're never too old to learn. So with that being said, me and Dr. Elia want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.